like a ball.
So let's talk about the process of how men fall in love, okay? Because it is in a weird way, it is very similar to how women fall in love. Some people think it's different. There's some little differences, but it's almost like saying, how do you get addicted to a substance? You know, like how do you get addicted to a substance, right? There is no difference in gender. Now, some women get addicted to other things compared to men, but it's still a similar neurological process, right? Some people could get addicted because their body literally prefers stimulants over downers. Some people get it like literally, like it's almost like a preference. It's like you were just born with that. Some people get it. Some people have an addictive personality, right? Or some people are going through something bad in their life, right? And they happen to come across somebody. I mean, they happen to come across in a drug to lift them up. Some people are crack babies, where they come from a parent who has an addicted person, who has an addiction to a certain drug, right? And they learn that addiction through their parents, right? So it's kind of like there's different ways of falling in love, and everybody, and to me, in my opinion, the only difference between men and women is that men, you can make them fall in love through the sex a little bit more than women. Like women are more of a, they fall in love through the ears, through the promises. Men, it's completely different. You got to play with their fantasies through the visual, okay? Not just through the visual, but through looking like an innocent, motherly figure. Like that kind of stuff makes a man, and providing and being there when he's down. That type of stuff has an effect on men a little bit more than on women. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's find out what these things are, okay? And if you guys ever want to work with me one-on-one, to get coaching, literally with me, go to the description down below where it says get one-on-one coaching, okay? So the first one is that a projection. You remind them of somebody. Now, like, what's a projection? It's just an image that you put upon a screen, right? That overlays, that completely fills up a blank space, all right? So that blank space is the person who they're falling in love with. They're not over their exes, right? Have you ever lost somebody either through death or through breakup, and because you miss them so much, you almost see them everywhere. It's almost like a lot of people remind them of you. Why remind them of you, right? Oh, is that my ex? Fuck that bitch, right? Oh, that looks like my mom, right? As an example, right? And why is that? Because you want to see them, you miss them. So you're constantly looking for them. So whenever you meet somebody that kind of reminds you of the person who lost, those emotions will be transferred onto that person, and you almost latch onto them. Like I always say, it's almost like a dog. When a dog dies, a lot of owners buy a dog that looks similar to the dog that died. Why? So that they could project those emotions of the dog that they lost onto the new dog, right? The dog is like, wow, they must love me for me, right? So if an ex breaks up with a guy or hurts him, right, and they're still not over that, and you remind them of that person, what you'll notice is that this person will fall in love with you pretty quickly, right? And those types of relationships, sometimes they do last. Most often they don't. But they do fall in love deeply emotionally. And as long as you maintain some distance, as long as you create space, as long as you create a little bit of pain from here and there, you could possibly maintain that, right? And how do you know it's a projection? One, look at their exes and see if you kind of look like them, right? And two, notice if they fall in love fast with you. Those are all the telltale signs that the person is falling in love with you because of a projection, right? The second way that men fall in love is through casual sex that usually leads to developing a bond. Humans develop bonds with people who they spend time with. It's just that simple. But you could spend the same time with somebody, the same amount of time under the same circumstance, and you develop a bond that's like 3 out of 10. But then with another person, the same thing happened, but simply because it's another person, you might develop a bond that's like 7 out of 10, right? There's no logical, that you can't predict this. But the point is that you will develop a bond with people who you spend time with, no matter who. This is actually what's called the Stockholm syndrome, where you develop even a bond with your kidnappers. Why is that? Because humans throughout history. Our ancestors had to deal with a lot of conquering, where especially especially the women, they had to deal with a lot of men come through their cities, kill their kids, kill the people who they love, and bang them. And turn them into their wives. And those women had to adapt. How did they adapt? They adapted by actually falling in love with the person who killed their family. Like, it's fucking crazy. But it's something wired in humans. You have to adapt to that because it's a common thing for humans to be conquered by other nations, right? So humans, I feel like, develop that kind of mechanism, right? So if you spend enough time with somebody, you will develop a bond with them. Even monkeys, you kidnap them from their parents, and after a while, they will love you. A dog, you kidnap them from their fucking mama, and they will eventually love you. It's just how it is, right? So through casual sex, there's a time limit. If that person that you're seeing, let's just say you see them once a week, right, casually for sex, you should notice that after like the fourth date, there should be some kind of connection. You should notice it. And after 2 or 3 months of hooking up, this person has to have already developed feelings for you and should feel jealous of you spending time with other people. If the guy doesn't feel any type of envy, doesn't want to have any commitment with you after 2 or 3 months, then that's the limit of what he's going to feel for you. After 2 or 3 months, the limit of love that the person's gonna have for you in terms of commitment, in terms of like, he has to feel a 7 out of 10 as an example to want a commitment. If he's at a 6 after 3 or 4 months, I know I said 2 or 3 months, but like at the limit. If after 3 or 4 months, this person still at a 6, this person is not gonna go any higher, right? But after 2 or 3 months, if the person really likes you, he's gonna keep liking you. And he's gonna want commitment. So through casual sex, you could potentially create commitment. And you can watch my last video on the evolution of casual sex. It's kind of interesting. The third one, you hurt their ego, and they fall in love with you because you hurt their ego. And this is what happened to me, right? I don't know if you guys remember the story about the Mexican girl who hurt my ego. She kind of like, she just hurt my ego. Like, she broke my heart. But because of that, I ended up falling in love with her because I never got completion, right? And so she became a figment of my imagination, where I was looking for a girl that kind of reminded me of her, and that actually happened. I met a girl who kind of looked like her in a weird, freaky way, and all of those emotions that I have for that ex went into that girl. But the way to create this type of stuff is just to hurt their ego, man. Like, break up with them, right? Be very inconsistent. And make them fall in love, and they say something that could potentially hurt their feelings, and then get back with them. By having that up and down seesaw type of motion, and you give them that experience, a lot of guys will fall in love with you. But the thing is that love will not be, could potentially just be ego. Potentially, I could say, I don't have a clear number, but the likelihood of those types of relationships lasting are kind of low. But compared to using any strategy with a guy who would have never loved you, it's the highest efficiency type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys ever want to learn how to use your feminine energy to influence people, learn how to use your masculine energy to become more assertive, and also learn how to blend both energies to improve your dating life, your spiritual life, honestly, your relationship life, your family life, your career life, this is the course for you. If I had to make a course for my nieces, I have 2 nieces, one is 19 and one is 15. 16. Holy shit. Oh my God, he's a bad fucking uncle. He's a bad uncle. Get him. Shut up, Melissa. You should get this course, right? And this is the course that I will make for them. So, for example, watch the curriculum, right? In the first week, we're going to be showing you how to establish a strong masculine foundation without letting it hurt your feminine energy. This masculine foundation is a source of who you are, right? It's your bodyguard. Without this, whatever feminine energy you create will be destroyed by the outside, because your masculine is your shield. So we'll talk about goal setting. We'll talk about how to develop a serious attitude. We're going to be talking about how to use more logic, how to use more goal-oriented behavior. It's more how to be a man. Now the next one is how to embrace the feminine energy, right? This one would teach you about how to minimize excessive masculine traits, developing self-awareness, healing abundant feminine energy, regulating your emotion, mastering voice qualities and facial expressions, surrendering control, and allowing pain to be felt. This is honestly, this will supercharge, like Kaioken, your masculine energy. After that, we have femininity in the workplace and how to be feminine in the workplace without letting people take advantage of you, and the nuances of how women on power should behave versus women who are subordinates in the workplace, and even the dress code. This is based on psychology, people. It's kind of insane. I'm actually excited about this one. The next week, we talk about navigating the labyrinth of male and female friendship. And this, a lot of women find confusing, so we talk about that. And how to identify envious friends, how to identify the good friends, how to keep male friends, and how to keep female friends. Week 5, we talk about how to release the burden of the past and stop and destroy mental projections. This is actually really powerful. And then week 6, we talk about how to increase your observational power so that you could read people better. And we have a bunch of bonuses. The course starts at $99, and you guys can pre-order the course today at $69 before it goes out. If you're watching this, most likely I'm in the meditation retreat, so most likely I will be praying for all of you guys. And just click on the description down below of the video. Right there, you'll see it, and you could pre-order that course. It's gonna be out by the end of next month or the beginning of February of March. One of the two, people, because I have a 10-day retreat to do, and I want to finish the course after the retreat, because I think the ideas are gonna be so much better. All right, man. I'll see you guys later. Pre-order, man. I'm closing the channel.